What's up everybody? Welcome back. It's Brandon again with Muscle and Strength, and you're watching the very first video in a series called How to Gain Weight, where we're going to take a look at several things from nutrition to diet to training programs to general tips and strategies to help you guys gain weight and overall build strength and build muscle. Now, in order to do this, the first thing we need to understand is calories. So, for those unaware, calories are simply a way that we can measure energy. Now, this can be energy that we get through food, or in some cases, even the beverages that we drink contain calories or energy. Now, each individual has different requirements as far as how many calories they need, and what we'll come to learn is by manipulating the amount of calories you take in compared to that of what your body needs will allow you to either gain, lose, or maintain your body structure. So first things first, we need to talk about something called BMR and how it relates to you in determining how much calories you actually need. In order to understand how calories work and how we can manipulate them in order to gain or lose weight, we first need to understand basal metabolic rate, or BMR. What BMR refers to is the processes within the body that require energy to complete. Now, these processes can include anything from breathing, blood circulation, body temperature, brain function, and the contraction of muscles. Now, with BMR, you'll find it differs from person to person based off some key criteria. The first bit of criteria we'll look at today is age. So, when a person is younger and going through growth spurts, they require a lot of energy to compensate for the changes going on in their body. This results in a higher BMR. As a person ages and stops growing, their metabolism also slows. This would result in a lower BMR. Body composition also plays a big role in this. The more muscle a person has, the higher their metabolic rate tends to be. Muscle burns about 3 to 5 times more calories than fat does. That being the case, weight also plays a role, as you'll find that people that weigh more require more calories in order to maintain that weight. That's why it's typically easier to lose weight initially at the start of a diet and harder later as you have less weight to lose and a lower BMR. Gender also plays a very small role in this, as women typically have a metabolic rate of about 5 to 10% less than men. Men also typically have more muscle mass, thus their BMRs are typically higher because of this. Body surface area can also play a role. For previously mentioned reasons, people that weigh more typically would have more body surface area in order to upkeep, thus having a higher BMR. In other scenarios, those individuals which are taller or have more skin area to cover as well, their BMRs will be elevated as well. So, BMR takes into account our daily body functions as previously mentioned with the criteria we just discussed. So, this means we could literally lay in bed and still require a large amount of calories in order to upkeep our current state of living. However, what BMR does not take into account is activity level, because many of us are active through training, activities, sports, work, and social life. We also need to take a look at this in order to understand what our true maintenance calories are. Alright, great. So we now understand BMR, and we also know that we need to account for our own activity level in order to find out how many calories we need each day. Once we establish this number, you'll also hear this commonly referred to as maintenance calories, meaning the number of calories we need to take in each day to maintain our current level. Now, as far as that goes, it sounds pretty complicated, and I know what you're thinking. How the heck do I go about figuring those numbers out? Well, luckily enough for us, Muscle and Strength has actually included that on their main website under the tools section. Simply go there and input your own numbers and your activity level, and you'll get your own maintenance calories. Once we've established that number, it's simply a matter of increasing or decreasing our intake around this number to gain or lose weight depending on our own personal goals. Since this video is talking about gaining weight, all we need to do is ensure that each day we're in a caloric surplus. That way we'll gain weight over time. Now, with this, it's also important to note that it's not just something that you can do overnight, meaning you can't just eat a bunch of calories one day and expect to see a consistent amount of weight gain in the long run. Depending on if you're dieting or if you're bulking, gaining or losing weight happens in the long run, meaning again, over days, weeks, months, and in some cases, even years. Now, what we'll talk about in our next video series in this subject of gaining weight is how to ensure that the weight you gain is muscle and not just fat. It's one of the big reasons people fear gaining weight, because they don't know how to do it and end up bulking to the point where they have a lot of excess fat gain. So join me next time right here on Muscle and Strength. I'm Brandon, and I'll talk to you soon.